Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Why We Love Star Wars. I am your host, Stone Loki. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to Sit Room. Good evening, Catman, D.D. Myers, old Star Wars nerd. Greetings. Greetings, Daryl the Derelict, Louis Sparrow, Andrew 46 and 2. Good evening, Shum. Thank you so very much. Shum threw out a super chat and said, I hope the show wasn't too long. Mexican Ironman, aka Darth Poppy or Poopy, needs to be home in time for Betty White's bedtime. We've actually got an update on Mexican Ironman, guys. So give me just a minute. Good evening, Leia Rose. Good evening. Good evening, Stephanie. Stephanie from the Smuggler's Cantina. Good evening, Stephanie. How are you doing? She says, hey, Arwyn Avalon. Good evening, Project Storytime. DJ Ronnie G. Good evening, everybody. Okay, so guys, I got a call from Mike about 2 hours ago that said his little dog Bambino had been bitten by a copperhead. His little Chihuahua Bambino had been bitten by a copperhead. Mexican Ironman had to take little Bambino to the doggy emergency room. He has updated twice since then and let me know that Bambino he wasn't originally he wasn't wagging his tail, he wasn't really moving or anything. Now he's wagging his tail, he's doing a little better. Mexican Ironman is there with little Bambino. They're deciding whether or not they're going to let little Bambino come home or not. They don't know whether they're going to let little Bambino come home. But little Bambino may be staying at the hospital tonight. I told Mike when all this happened, I told him, well, we'll just reschedule next week. We'll just do it next week. He said, no, I want to listen to you guys talk. I want to listen to you guys talk Star Wars. I want to listen while I'm there at the little doggy emergency room. I want to listen to you guys. You've got guests coming on. We had planned on talking. We're going to talk to Arwyn Avalon about why she loves Star Wars. We'll talk to Valiant Renegade. We're going to talk to Heiress of Chaos. We have got guests on tonight. So there he is. There is the man himself. I mean, you didn't have to send a super chat, brother. Seriously, no. You didn't have to do that. We all love you, brother. We're all with you. We're all with little Bambino, man. We love you. But Mike wanted the show. He said the show must go on. Normally, I would have been like, nope, but it's what he wanted, so that's what we're going to do tonight. We are going to kick butt. We are going to take names. We're going to talk about one of my favorite Star Wars books. It's a trilogy, one of my favorite Star Wars EU trilogies that I really like, even though some people don't like Kevin J. Anderson. This is the Kevin J. Anderson trilogy that I really like. I thought it was really good, so we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to have guests. We're going to have people popping in, hanging out with us. And right off the bat, we have got Heiress of Chaos. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my God.
Thank you. And we're gonna start things off right off the bat with a skull, because we've got a skull for Shum, who sent in a $5 super chat, and we have a skull for Mexican Ironman. Thank you so very much, guys. Mike, you didn't have to do that, brother, but thank you so very much. Skull. Thoughts and prayers go out to Mexican Ironman and little Bambino. Little Bambino is going to be great. He is going to be okay. He's at the hospital. He's going to be okay. It's just a matter of when he's going to get to come home. All our thoughts and prayers are with you, Mike. But like you said, we're going to talk about Star Wars tonight. So let's talk about Star Wars: Heiress of Chaos. I asked you when I invited you up here. I asked you what's your favorite, why do you love Star Wars? And you had a very, very interesting answer.
Oh my God. Okay, so I said why I love Star Wars is because Darth Vader is a drama queen that we all need in our lives. That is why.
Because of the flowing cape,
yes,
and the dark silhouette and the red lightsaber.
No, let me explain. Okay, the man has every other thing he has on him. on his body is there to help him with mobility and to help him actually like function, right? Generally speaking, you could, regardless of how you want to put Palpatine's design and whatever. The only thing that is not needed for his whole outfit is his cape. There's no reason for him to have a cape, but he wears a cape. Why? Because he's a dramatic motherfucker, and I appreciate that.
And no, I don't have a no button. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I will swear. You cannot stop me. You'll have to kick me out.
N-O.
You'll have to kick me out if you don't want me to swear.
No means no.
And Loki, you swear more than me, so.
That's true. It's true. I do. Ladies and gentlemen, I do swear more than she does. So, Purple Blackberry has an iconic redemption story.
Cape.
It might protect him from the heat or something. DJ Ronnie G. You never know.
Get a Snuggie. Can you imagine Darth Vader with a Snuggie?
No.
Yes.
So how did you obviously you've watched the OG, the original trilogy?
Yes. I am a normal human on this planet with access to movies. Yes, I have watched Star Wars.
So what did you think about the original, the OT, the original trilogy?
Kind of funny. I've told this story a few times. Just as I'm getting into something is like when it's starting to go downhill, which is always hilarious. It happened for all the big trinity of sci-fi, right? Happened to Star Trek, Star Wars, and Doctor Who, funnily enough. I had watched Star Wars, but I really never got into it. I got into Star Trek way more. But I was at the hospital, not for me, but for somebody else, when Carrie Fisher died. And I decided, because I'd liked Carrie Fisher, I really liked her as like a person. She seemed really cool, and I really liked that she advocated for like mental health and whatever. And she, when she died, I decided to sit in the hospital and watch the original trilogy, kind of out of respect. I hadn't watched it in years, not really seriously. And when I watched it, it was like I could appreciate it for the first time. I don't know. It was kind of this weird moment that I just never realize how good the original trilogy was. So y'all will probably remember when Carrie Fisher died. Carrie Fisher died about a year before The Last Jedi came to theaters. So my first experience in theaters with a Star Wars movie as a Star Wars fan was The Last Jedi. So that was fun. That was interesting.
That's
Yes.
Have you seen the prequels?
Yes, I've seen the prequels.
So have you seen all of the movies?
I've seen basically 1 through 8. I occasionally say that I've seen the 9th one, Rise of Skywalker, because I've seen the EFAP coverage of the breakdown of Rise of Skywalker like 20 times. So it's like I know that movie fairly well because they go over it frame by frame. I kind of just occasionally slip up and say that I've seen it, but I technically have not sat down and watched it.
It's a jumbled mess. You're not missing anything. But as far as you have your eye on the 3 different trilogies.
Yes, I've seen pretty much all 3 of them, and I have a lot of knowledge as far as like the Rise of Skywalker. So if you had to pick a trilogy to stick with, I mean, pretty obviously, I would say the original trilogy. I don't know like anyone who, I don't know a lot of people that would choose otherwise. I guess I say that, but then I have a Twitter, so I know that's not necessarily true. I just don't know why you'd choose. Like, I could understand if you chose the prequels, especially if you grew up with them. I kind of grew up with them.
A lot of people love the prequels.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that they're really like good. I don't think that they're bad either. I think a lot of the memes that came from them is what kind of made them. I don't know. The cheesy dialogue in that is so cringe. It's so awful, and there's a lot of bad in that. But I think, especially when you start comparing it to what we got with the sequel trilogy, it's really, really hard to not at least. It's like a kind of fondness. Like, it doesn't make me mad. Does that make sense? Like, it's not the best thing. I'll watch them. I might not like sit down and watch them, but like if they're on TV, I'll watch them, right? But I won't watch the sequel trilogy because it ends up making me mad. Who likes being mad? You know, like 24/7. Generally speaking, not a whole lot of people, I would say. Lord of the Rings trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6. Interesting. I never thought of the Lord of the Rings like that, but I guess technically that's where we are.
The sequels gave people a newfound appreciation for the prequels.
Did not break anything. Yes,
and
I agree.
that's something. Yes, I never had a problem with the prequels. People had a problem with Phantom Menace. I liked Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn is my favorite Jedi of all time.
I like Mace Windu and his purple lightsaber. I thought that was cool.
There is plenty that has come from the prequel trilogy that I think is great. There's also a lot of cringy dialogue, as you said.
Yes.
But there's a lot of stuff that came out of the prequels that was absolutely wonderful. I had goosebumps. I remember sitting there watching Attack of the Clones. The scene where Anakin's mother died. And I remember looking at my friend and him being like, oh, shit. And yeah, we knew what was going to happen. He was going to lose it. He absolutely, positively lost it and cut that. The women and the children.
Oh my God. The younglings. Oh, my God.
Andy Masterson, Team Qui-Gon. Yes, absolutely. Team Qui-Gon.
Yes, he was pretty cool. Yeah.
Arwyn, yes. Windu's purple saber, legend.
And I love the story behind it too. Like finding out that story. You know, I love it when movies give me like stories like behind the scenes that just add even more love to something. Have you heard any like behind the scenes stories about the sequel trilogy that like make you go, oh, and that just made me liked it? Like I haven't heard any of those stories.
Hayden Christensen asked George Lucas, "Can I be in the suit?" And they said, "Yes, we would love for you to be in the suit." And they tailored that Darth Vader suit specifically for Hayden Christensen because he didn't want. He said I would not feel like I completed this mission, these last two movies, if I wasn't in the Vader suit when it was all said and done.
Love that. That's cool. I didn't know
love that. People can dish on him all they want to about, sand is coarse and rough and it gets everywhere. But he's not the one who wrote that dialogue. He did his job.
No.
And I believed with the attitude and the way he was, I believed he was Luke's dad. If you go back and you watch Luke in the original Star Wars, not Episode 4, but Star Wars.
New Hope.
Luke's a little shit. He's a little defiant shit because I'm never gonna get out of here. Why can't I just go off and join the Empire and fly TIE fighters, man?
Yeah, no, it's like I actually saw. I think this was when Tumblr was actually an okay website. I think I saw a Tumblr post that had that on there where it compared like the dialogue and the way that they acted, and it was like it was kind of like that was the moment I realized Hayden Christensen had actually channeled like New Hope Luke at the beginning. I was like, oh, holy hell, that's.
They were supposed to be right around the same age.
Yeah.
So you've got an Anakin that's right around the same age as Luke was in the first Star Wars movie. And he's playing it like, this is going to be my kid acting just like me one day. So I've got to play the dad that acted just like this. He acted just like I did.
Yeah, we usually, in some shape or form, emulate our parents.
That's right.
And kind of something you realize when you get older. So... yeah.
Trust a black cat with a fez.
Yes, always trust me. I am the epitome of truth, justice, and the cat way. You should always trust me. And no, I can't blame you, but like George Lucas isn't he wrote the dialogue, right?
I just want to go to Kashi Station and pick up some power converters.
Oh my God.
He never did.
You
But
mimic.
if you watch the deleted scenes, he does. He
Of
does go to Tashi
course. Of course
stations.
you've watched. What are you, Loki, are you coming out as a nerd? Is that what you're doing?
Really?
Oh my
Really?
god.
Like,
Oh my god.
Loki came out of the closet as a nerd? I don't know
He's
about
a
that.
nerd. Oh my god. Guys, get him.
Someone who watches the behind the scenes videos and documentaries and yeah,
What?
I don't do any of that.
How dare you?
Cats are impulsive and unpredictable, not exactly trustworthy. I
I am
agree with that.
extremely trustworthy.
I
Loki, do
agree.
you trust me?
Only as far as I can throw you, and you'll probably
Hey,
get
I'm a light
for
kitty
all
cat.
legs
You
anyway.
can
Jar Jar was my only real problem with the prequels. A lot of people had a problem with Jar Jar, and Jar Jar was there for the kids, and that was the thing.
Yes, I
Jar
thought
Jar
he was
was there for the
hilarious
kids.
when I was a kid. I thought he
Um,
was the most hilarious thing in that movie. Now you get older and you're like, oh no.
he's annoying as shit.
Yes.
But he was there for the kids, and they did fix that. You know, all you see him in two, he's like Annie, little Annie, and that's
And
you know,
poof.
these senators, we must create the clone army to defend the new
Great.
empire. I mean republic.
Thanks, Jar Jar. I would not have minded Jar Jar to become like it was like a secret Sith. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that would have been. I actually would
the
have enjoyed
real
that.
emperor, the real emperor. Eastland Burkholder says listening to the Star Wars radio play. It's
There's a radio
interesting
play.
because I have been listening to the books we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm gonna pop
I had to
these
do
up here.
homework. Oh no.
We're gonna. No, you didn't.
Oh good, because I didn't do it. The dog
I'm
ate it.
bringing these up because I have actually been listening to these on audio format.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is the Jedi Academy trilogy.
Well, I don't know anything about this. Can you tell me about it? I would like to know.
This happens after. This is, of course, after Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
This is after the Thrawn trilogy, which is very popular here in the fandom. Thrawn trilogy is hugely popular. I don't think these books get talked about enough, but they aren't as good as the Thrawn trilogy, where we had a very, very good writer writing the Thrawn trilogy. Not everybody is okay with Kevin J. Anderson. And basically, these books, he's got a different type of writing style that not everybody likes.
That's weird. Okay.
I was a kid when I listened to these for the first time. I think I was a young teenager. I think when I listened to these.
Back in my day.
In my day,
Oh
the
my God.
books are more detailed. The books have more to them, but the audiobooks are just as good. You cannot get the unabridged versions, but you can get the. I think they come in at like 4 hours a piece, so you're looking at about a 12-hour listening time. I listen to them here and there when I can. I'm in right at towards the end of Dark Apprentice. Champions of the Force will be my next book. But basically, what these books are about is what we all wanted to see in the sequel trilogy. These books are about Luke creating a Jedi Academy.
Oh, that'd been cool to see. Instead of it just seeing it for like 5 seconds on fire. Like after he tried to murder his nephew. That would have been cool.
He tried to murder his nephew.
Yeah, you know.
And Daryl the Derelict, Kevin J. Anderson wrote some excellent Star Wars. I agree. I absolutely agree. Not everybody does, but I agree. So basically, Luke is going around the galaxy finding students. And he finds these students and takes them back to Yavin. We go back to where they fought the Death Star in the very first Star Wars movie, to that temple. Remember how they were in like an Aztec temple?
Yes.
Well, he takes them back to that temple on Yavin 4, and he trains them in the old rebel base there.
That's kind of cool.
What he doesn't know is that the entire civilization, the Masasi race that lived on the Yavin 4, was wiped out overnight by a Sith Lord named Exar Kun. And that Sith Lord is still there on the planet.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His spirit, his Force ghost, his evil Force ghost is there. And one of Luke's students goes into one of these temples and finds these 3 different crystals and makes his own lightsaber. using
Ooh.
these multifaceted saber gems that
Ooh.
allow his lightsaber to double in length. So he can be fighting, he can
It's
be like, "Ju,
Viagra.
ju, ju, ju," and he can hit a button and it double extends the lightsaber.
Lightsaber
Dan Torres,
Viagra.
Daryl
Oh
the
my
Derelict.
god.
Daryl the Derelict knows what's up here. Dan Torres, yes. But the books are very, very, very fun to read. You can get them now in the Legends. The
Okay.
Legends have like a 3-pack of the Jedi Academy trilogy. I used to have a long sleeve sweatshirt kind of like this that had
Oh,
Jedi Academy on Yavin 4. It was like a college sweatshirt.
that's
Really
cool. I
cool.
like that. Oh,
But
I like that book set. I like
these are the
little
new book
sets.
sets. These
I
are the new
like
book sets. And if you're lucky, if you're very, very lucky, you can find a hardback copy that has
Ooh, I like hardbacks.
all 3 books in them.
Oh my god.
This is the version I'm still searching for. Is the
Hmm.
hardback that has all 3 books in them.
Chat, go forth. I believe in you. Go find them. I believe. Go forth, chat.
But you can find them. You can find them on eBay. You can find them on Amazon. The new books, I'm sure you can find pretty much. You can pretty much find the Legends anywhere.
Okay.
But
Cool.
all 3 books are worth a read. They're very well. They're very well put together. I like the writing style. I like his writing style when he's writing Star
Hmm.
Wars. Some people hate him because he did some Dune books and didn't follow
Oh,
exactly the way some people thought it should have gone. But they have
so
their reasons for not liking him, and I don't begrudge them of that.
so wait, he didn't do a thing from a different IP the way that they wanted it to. So
That's right.
they but does he write like does he continue the story well in this one?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
so I don't get that.
You get Mara Jade, you get a lot of the characters, Wedge
Ooh.
Antilles. Abunas, how are you
Oh
doing,
my
brother?
god,
Because
El
I absolutely
Presidente.
love the Jedi Academy trilogy.
Nice.
As do I. As do I. I first listened to these on audiobook. I eventually got the novels, but I still like to listen to them on audiobook. And one of the ways you can do that is through Audible. I don't make any money from Audible. They don't pay me. They don't, hey, can you? No, none of that shit. I like using
Yeah.
Audible and I like
You'd
getting,
you'd have the cringe ad instead of him just telling you about it.
so I personally like getting them through Audible. I think I've got like 7 or 8 Star Wars books through, and they're all really good. These are the abridged versions, but they are the exact same versions I heard from Del Rey Doubleday audiobooks back in the day when I was a teenager. So for me, they're worth hearing again and again.
Okay.
For some people, they're like, I absolutely hate this son of a bitch that reads these books, but I like it because it's the stuff I liked back in the day. It's the exact same one I listened to.
Well, you gotta be careful with audiobooks because, yeah, well, it's the person who's reading it. I know you would assume people would realize this, but like, not all voice actors are created equally. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. But I like this guy, and
Okay.
it's good for me. And you get the music, you get the lightsaber sounds.
Oh, that's cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
There's a special part of book 2 where Luke fights one of his apprentices in lightsaber combat.
Oh
And
my god.
it's all there. The music's there, the lightsaber combat's there.
That's
All while
awesome.
he's talking like, he's like, and Luke jumped up to and he gets all excited. It's good. To me it's good.
Oh, okay. That's okay, good. Because I've heard horror stories about audiobooks sometimes. X
No, but
Files books?
the audio Kevin J. Anderson.
Cool.
The audio, they're really good. I like them. Anyway, if you want to try and
Alright.
get a hold of these in audiobooks, you can get them on Audible. If you want to get the actual books, I'm sure they've got them on. They've got them through Amazon. I've got the whole set. I want
Pew
that.
pew.
I'm looking. I'm always looking for the hardbacks though. So
Yes.
probably get that to be on eBay, or I'll go to a bookstore, an old used bookstore, and find one day. I like doing shit like that. When I go Star Wars shopping, guys, that's usually what I do. I don't go to the mall to the big stores. I don't go to Toys R Us. I will go to old thrift shops. I
Toys
will
R
go to
Us.
toys. I will go to I'll go to half price books, and that's how I shop for Star Wars stuff. I will not give anything to Disney.
What? You don't want to go to the Disney stores? Oh, probably because they shut down around you. Yeah. Disney's they're so successful that they're shutting their stores down.
They're so successful that they're shutting their stores down. Star Wars is so hot right now.
It is. It's not a cold, dead corpse just lying there in the garbage.
The thing is, back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, back 20 years ago, we were keeping Star Wars alive by buying the books. We were keeping Star Wars alive by buying the games. And then the prequels came out, and after that, we kept Star Wars alive again by buying the EU books, by buying the video games, by buying the comic books. We all kept Star Wars alive. And there's some really cool stuff. If you go back and you watch the cinematic trailers for Knights of the Old Republic, for the Old Republic, the multiplayer game, the online game, the MMO, there are some cutscenes in that are better than the entire sequel trilogy combined. Because people were still keeping Star Wars alive and wanted people to get excited. They wanted people to go, hell yeah, when they saw something like that. It gave them hope. Hey, we're going to have Star Wars again.
A new hope? Ha 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 ha.
We're going to have Star Wars again. We're going to keep Star Wars alive. We're going to keep Star Wars going. Now Disney, every 5 seconds, we've got a new series. We've got a new comic book. We've got a new this. We've got a new video game. Did you hear about the Fortnite-like Star Wars Hunters?
What?
Star Wars Hunters is going to be Fortnite, except it's Star Wars Fortnite.
That reminds me of.
You're going to have 4-player combat in an arena type level. It's going to be like Fortnite.
So why do another BR? Good. That's what we need. Another one. Yay! Good job.
Why do I want a Star Wars game that's like other games?
Because they can't. Loki. They can't be original. They just can't. And what's funny is that, like, do y'all remember? I remember when Rise of Skywalker was a thing, and there was a message in the opening crawl that Palpatine had been sending out, but they don't ever tell you what it is. It's because you had to go play Fortnite, like, in order to get the message from Palpatine. And, like, I don't know, I feel like that alone should have told you that Star Wars was dead, is when they're asking you to go play Fortnite in order to understand something that's happening in a movie. But I can't imagine them doing it. They're going to, if they thought that was okay, and they really haven't done anything to make me think that they're above doing that again. Like, all they're going to use this game for is, like, what they started using comic books for, which is like, yeah, we didn't have time to put this in the movie because we suck at our job of making movies. So we're going to put it in a comic book. That's what they're going to do. That's what they've been using for comic books lately. So why would they not use this game to do exactly that?
Well, that's what they're going to do. That is exactly what they are going to do.
Imagine. Hey, in order to understand, you got to play this game. That's a good plan. Good plan.
No imagination, no original ideas. That's the problem. Why? Let me ask you a question. Why would you have this wonderful, wonderful group of people that worked at LucasArts, not Lucasfilm, but LucasArts, that were making these wonderful games, making this content? You've got these writers that are writing these books and writing content and keeping Star Wars alive, and then Disney buys it and goes, you know what? We don't need any of you. They hang on to Timothy Zahn because they want the character of Grand Admiral Thrawn. So they hang on to Timothy Zahn. But everybody else, they basically tell to take a walk. We don't want you. We don't need you. Take a walk. They stop paying them. Even when they owe them royalties, they stop paying them.
No.
And they can't come up with anything original now.
No. They can't. Like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because Star Wars used to be one of those where, like, when you heard about Star Wars, even when I was young, and I am fairly young, so I kind of got the tail end of it. With the prequel trilogy, like Revenge of the Sith came out, and I was like, I think 11 or 10 or 11, something like that. But it was like Star Wars. That's like a moneymaker. That's like instant money, right? Because
It's the goose that laid the golden egg.
Yeah, it's like you could never fuck this up. And somehow they took the goose and they didn't really kill it. But they made it not able to lay eggs anymore. So it's like, well, I mean, we still have this thing. It's kind of alive, but it doesn't do anything. I don't know. What do we do with this? You know, it's like they made it like Solo lost money. I know everyone forgets about Solo, but Solo literally lost like millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, and I can't. I would be so humiliated and embarrassed. Stop. No, they don't. They have never had they've not had a plan.
So did the Cylons. We all saw how well that went.
Yeah. But okay, just sit down and watch 7 through 9 as a trilogy, because people don't seem they call it a trilogy, but it's not a trilogy. There is not a coherent, cohesive thing happening between all three of those movies. Besides, there are some characters that are appearing in all the movies. Like it makes no sense. Last Jedi takes place 5 seconds after Force Awakens. You got like a 5-year time jump in Rise of Skywalker for some reason. Rey's training. No one knows why Rey's training, because she's beaten the bad guy twice already. Can you imagine if Luke would have beaten Darth Vader in A New Hope? Like, defeated him successfully? There's no stakes. There's nothing.
Yeah, we're not talking about the TIE X1, Vader's TIE X1 getting blown off course by Han Solo. We're talking about a straight up lightsaber battle.
Yes, like imagine Force Awakens, but it's Luke and Darth Vader at the end, okay, in the forest. Like, how does that, like, imagine that scene and then try to like have any stakes in the sixth one? The good guy already won. Why does it matter? What is it? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, Snoke doesn't make sense. No one who cares about Snoke, right? Your Snoke theory sucks, right? Like, it's not cohesive. It's not a trilogy. If you sit down and watch 4, 5, and 6, all right, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, it's cohesive.
And people want to know why. I want to explain it something, and I want to say this because we all just saw this. Remember what happened at the Met Gala? Remember all those people in those freaky ass costumes that were running around thinking they were something, right? That is what you are dealing with Star Wars. That is Star Wars now, ladies and gentlemen. Star Wars has gone off the deep end. It is no longer on the same level as you, me, everyone else. It is now so far beyond you and above you, you will never ever obtain it. You will never ever come close to it. And those people that are doing this have no comprehension of what you're bitching about.
What, that I want good storytelling, consistency.
But to them, this is the very best of the best. This is the best you will ever have.
Oh, well, they suck. I don't know. Good. If you want to settle for something that absolutely fucking blows, more power to you, but I expect better from people.
These are the people that are in charge of Hollywood. These are the people that are in charge of what is going on today, why you don't understand, why you can't be a part of it, because they are so far beyond you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can't comprehend, and that is what they see.
Deep. It's so
It's
deep,
so
Lucky.
deep. It's
Oh
so
my
deep.
god.
None of you will be able to comprehend the real meaning of it. Well,
So,
we can see it. We can see it. We can feel it. We can experience. Why can't you? Because they're plebs. We're all plebs.
oh no.
We're all regular people.
Oh my
Star
goodness.
Wars was created by a regular guy. No matter what anybody thinks about George Lucas was just a guy who went to film school, and he made some cool movies, and then he made Star Wars, and everybody loved Star Wars. Everybody, why? Because it was made by everyday people working everyday jobs. The special effects was a fucking ping pong table with battleship parts that they drove by and threw firecrackers at, for God's sakes.
I love that.
Those are the people that made the first movie. The people that came in and made the second movie were still down to earth people. And there was a lot of involvement from Britain. There were a lot of Brits in those movies. There were a lot of Brits that did the special effects for those movies. There were a lot of Brits that took care of that second and third movie. You want to talk about the quality. You want to talk about why those movies stand out. Normal people made them. Hard-working, everyday people. They made those movies. Do you want to know why some people feel out of touch with the prequels? Because George said, I'm going to make this exactly the way I want to make it. And I have these ideals I am looking at. And not everybody agreed with that. You want to know why we are cut so far down the middle with the sequel trilogy?
Why? Oh, that was my cue. Why?
Because some people want to stick their nose up Disney's asses and be like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
Oh my God.
And real people go, what the fuck is this? What is it? We don't know. We don't, and that's just the way it is. Guys, when we talk about honoring the past, honoring Star Wars.
No, you're supposed to kill it.
You're
supposed to kill it.
No, we honor the past here. We don't kill it. We don't kill the past.
Star Wars told me so. It must be true. You're supposed to kill it.
We keep the original alive because all of those hardworking men and women that made it, they made it something to believe in. They gave us hope.
Oh my God. Are you Leia?
Oh, I'm not Leia.
You're not Leia? Am I?
Hell no. No, I'd be I don't know. Bubba Fett maybe? I don't know. He's no use to me dead. The Empire will compensate you if he dies. Throw him in. I don't know. I'm not Vader. I'm not part of the Empire, but I'm not part of the Republic either. I'm not a good guy. Definitely not.
You're not?
So
you sure? You're
I'm
a villain?
pretty damn sure.
Guys, did y'all know Loki's a villain? I didn't know that.
A New Hope, if you will.
See? Yes, there you go. Pata got it. Yes, you did it. I'm proud.
A New Hope, if you will.
But I just kind of figured out. I'm not going to assume that anyone knows anything about the fine art community, because why would you, for the most part? But I had to learn about it at school. It became very apparent to me watching like in art history classes that as time went on, people got really up their ass about their art. And I'm not kidding, there is a painting out there that we learned about in art history that was important enough, apparently, to the world of art and the history of art, that we had to learn about it in my art history class, that it was literally just a giant white canvas that this dude painted white paint on. And it pissed me off that we had to learn about this. Because I was
white canvas with white paint on it.
Yes, that, and it got into galleries and it sold, and it was like this. It was celebrated as this like brand new idea. This oh my goodness, and it just It pissed me off. It's like, what is creative about this? This is bullshit. There's nothing artistic about this. You slapped white paint on a white canvas. What do you want? What do you want? That's a failing grade to me. That's not, in fact, that's not even a failing grade. That's like, get out. What are you doing? What are you trying to do here?
Darth Arlena says, well, at least we have Filoni and Favreau.
Yes.
Do you think that a lot of people want to know?
What?
Do you think that the days of Kathleen Kennedy are numbered?
I mean, I guess you could slap a number on them, but I have no fucking idea when she gets fired. And if she does get fired, whenever the fuck that is, somebody worse will replace her. Guaranteed. It will be 1 billion times fucking worse. There's like not even, because like Disney's the issue. I don't think that's an arguable thing. I don't think you can argue that.
Well, that's something that I've said. That is something Disney, that I've said for the last, at least the last 6 months, is Disney's the problem. Yeah. Yes, Kathleen Kennedy is a stain, but she's not in charge on a giant carpet that's just been ruined. Well, that has been absolutely ruined already.
Okay, yeah, it's basically, okay, this is how companies work, guys. Okay, when a company buys another company, that company that bought the other company is in charge of the company they bought. That's how that works, okay? Disney bought Lucasfilm, so Disney owns Lucasfilm. If you get rid of the head person at Lucasfilm, that doesn't change the culture of the company that bought Lucasfilm. They're just going to slap somebody else in there. That's what's going to happen. I don't know what to tell you. And it's going to be worse because the problem is Disney, because the culture that is festering and coming from Disney's workplace environment is toxic. And I'm not memeing about it being toxic. It is fucking toxic. It is not good. It is. I can't imagine working there. I've known a few people that have worked in various areas of Disney, and the way they treat their employees is mind-boggling. Like when the pandemic hit, they just like their live action people they did plays for in like the like in Orlando and Disney World. They just cut them. Didn't do anything. Just cut them.
And like they meant nothing. 009. I love Star Wars because of Legends. As a kid, after I found out there was more after Empire Strikes Back, that got me into reading for fun. I always loved Star Wars for that. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. That's one of the things that I will always carry with me. I have got hardback after hardback after hardback of EU novels because I love the EU novels. I love how they made me want to read more sci-fi, not just Star Wars sci-fi, but all kinds of sci-fi. You know, I had Lord of the Rings when I was a kid, and I had The Hobbit, and I had books that I liked, but it wasn't until I really got into reading Star Wars books that I was like, man, there's so much sci-fi out there. I want to read it all. And I'm never going to get the opportunity to read it all. But I want to. And I feel this need to read. I feel this need to keep reading and keep up with these books and keeps up with these ideas because of Star Wars. So I completely understand, Gelati 009, exactly how you feel. Because that brought me into that too. I love the EU because of that. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I am so hard on current day Star Wars is I have a level of this is how good it should be, and it's not. It's not that good. This is what I hold you to, Star Wars, and it's just not living up to where that line is.
No. Like I said, when I went on my little, I know it looked like a tangent and it sounded like a tangent, but I actually had a point about the white on white painting. That is what Star Wars has become. Is it used to be for everyone. I have never seen Star Wars so like not inclusive before in my entire life. Now I get it. I haven't been around the entire history of Star Wars, but I don't feel like they want me, they want you, they want anyone in this chat. I feel like they don't even want, or they don't even want money anymore. It's this weird like ideological takeover where not even money and a corporation of all fucking things it will deter them from the current course that they're on. It's very weird. It's very bizarre because you'd think a corporation would make changes because they want to make money. And like I said, especially after Solo losing as millions upon millions of dollars, that they would start making changes, and they haven't. I don't think anything's going to deter them after that. I just don't. I don't see him changing anytime soon. I don't see Kathy Kennedy getting fucking fired anytime soon. And if she does, she will be replaced with someone twice as bad. I don't see this culture dying out. You will have to. It's almost like you have to throw away the thing because it's so infected and so rotten from the core.
Cultural vandalism from Eastern Dark Holder.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's so rotten from the inside out. I don't know how you would revive it. It's bad. It's really bad. I just don't know.
It has to rise from the grave like a phoenix. Is what it's going
to be. Or a zombie. Oh.
It's going to have to. Something's going to have to burn it down, and it's going to have to rise from the ashes.
Yes. I don't know what it is, but dear God.
It's going to have to inspire people like the original one did. It's going to have to bring about a shift in the way people go to the movies.
Well, yeah, the whole situation with the movies isn't helping either. What streaming, like the streaming wars couldn't have come in at like the worst time. I have a movie theater near me, and it's like yeah, the parking lot's sort of full, but it's not even close to being as full as it used to get.
And let me ask you all in the chat. Stuart Mitchell brings up a really good point. Would have been much better for Disney to make movies out of the Thrawn trilogy instead of disowning the EU. If they would have done deep fakes on the cast and brought in a new cast to play those original characters, would people have been okay with it?
That's an interesting question, right? I don't know very much about the EU, just from what like you've told me and what Alora from OG Star Wars has told me and what I've heard about. I don't know a whole lot, but from what I've heard, and if they would have done it well and accurate and not pandered or done the bullshit that they've done, I don't see how that would have failed. I really don't. Even people who don't know anything, because I've just heard the basic storyline of what happens in the trilogy as a whole, not even like over one book, just the whole thing. And I would have loved to have seen that. And I don't know jack shit about it for the most part, except that summary. And so I don't know why if it's a good story, people will come and watch it.
Brightest Day says he's only now just dipping into the EU. And that's something I've heard more and more from different people is I'm just now getting into the EU, Loki. I'm just now reading. Where should I start? There's books that happened right after. There's the Truce at Bakura. The Truce of Bakura happens right after Return of the Jedi. Okay. You could start there. You could start with the Thrawn trilogy. There's so many different places you could go to in the timeline. And and a lot of the current day books have the timeline. And when I say current day, I'm talking about the end of Lucasfilms being its own entity before it got sold to Disney. If you pick up some of the books, but right before it got sold to Disney, there is a plethora of information, a timeline in those books, and it will show you from here, this is what happened thousands of years before the original Star Wars movie happened, all the way up to 100 years after it happened.
That's
100 years after Yavin.
All right.
There's a huge timeline of books that you can get into. You can start wherever you want. If you want to start right after the Battle of Endor, you can start right after the Battle of Endor. If you want to start 2,000 years before Vader was born, you can start there. You can start anywhere you want to and read. And read.
Okay.
You can start with Luke's Academy. You can start with Darth Vader's grandchildren. And he had
Ooh.
grandchildren, not just
Oh
a
my.
grandchild, but grandchildren. You could start when Luke gets married, when he finds the love of his life and gets married.
Interesting.
And Pat S., the Star Wars universe is huge. You don't have to stay on the same 6 planets, especially with the one-off movies they were going to.
Yeah, I mean, that's something else. Oh, that's something else that I guess we haven't talked about, and I don't think it's talked about enough. The sequels, like, okay, you had the original trilogy, right? That kind of set your groundwork. And then the prequels expanded upon that, and it really gave you, like, a bigger sense of how big the universe is. That was something the prequels did well, in my opinion. The sequel trilogy took all of that world building and all of that huge universe and shrunk it down to, like, nothing. Like, it's so tiny now, according to the sequel trilogy. It's really frustrating because, I mean, I love me a good world building story. Like, I love a lot of world building, and to see it get shrunk for really no reason is very, very annoying.
There is a set of Star Wars games. Give me just 1 second. I am
I
pulling.
will not. How
Right
dare you not have it immediately?
Let's see.
Oh my God.
Star Wars. Well, I've got a lot of Star Wars games. Of course,
You
I've got
like
a lot of
Star Wars?
Star Wars.
What is this?
Okay, so these are called Empire at War, and there is a modding group that took every planet that had ever been mentioned in Star Wars in the EU and made a galaxy around it, and it's
Oh,
huge.
that's cool.
There's
That's
like
awesome.
over 400 planets. You
Ooh.
fight. You can be the Empire. You can be the Rebellion. You can be the Rebels. You can be the Empire. You can be the Republic. You can go through different times. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do, but you play.
That's
And
so
you
cool.
keep playing.
I love
And
that.
you have this giant war
Oh my God.
in this other galaxy. If you look at that galaxy from the sequel trilogy eyes, there's only like 6 planets that are important.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it is absurd how who the fuck, I saw it and I missed it. There we go. DJ Ronnie say, like, yeah, you can see planet missiles. 5 of them hit 5 separate planets all at the same time. Like, what? This isn't like pool. That's not how that works. And yes, Space Horses. You gotta love the Space Horses. I don't, on top of a ship and hovering.
So when I asked about
Yes.
what you love about Star Wars,
I love the good storytelling. I love consistency. I love the world building. A lot of the characters. Obviously, there's a few that are kind of annoying to me. Jar Jar, obviously, being one of them. I like the world that it built, that you can sink your teeth into, that it inspired people to, like, the EU books, inspired so many people. It was just like this bright light kind of thing of like a franchise. Whenever I talk to people about Star Wars that really love Star Wars, I love hearing the passion in their voice. That's something I do love about people when they're passionate about something. There's a thing that happens with their voice that you don't get when somebody doesn't care. You can't fake it either. It's a thing that you can never fake, that kind of passion. Just all of these things. I couldn't just like nail it down. Obviously, I was kind of sort of joking about the Darth Vader thing. He is my favorite character. But there's so much to love. And unfortunately now there's an awful lot more to be annoyed and despise. Because they took something that was so good and they ruined it. Not ruined it, but they just it's like they didn't know what to do with it. Like they had it. They had this toy. What is it? It's like a dog chasing cars, right? Like they got the car and they didn't know what the fuck to do with it. So they just started throwing shit at it. And there's like that's when you get the sequel trilogy. It's just like what happened here, guys? I don't know what the hell did you do? How did you do this?
You have a great night, Shane Nolan.
Oh my god, your bed is calling. You have a haunted bed?
It's a cultural phenomenon and brought people together. I was always remember the huge lines and excitement for a new Star Wars film. We no longer have that, and it sucks. And I'd like to bring on another guest.
Another whammon?
Another whammon to the party. Arwyn Avalon. Good evening, Lady Arwyn.
Good evening, y'all. How are you doing?
Is that your official title, Lady Arwyn? Hello. I feel like I should curtsy, but I'm sitting on my bed and I'm wearing shorts, so I don't know. You know what? We're curtsying. You can't see it, but you gotta have faith that it's there.
Eris, you may kiss my ring.
I will do no such thing, but thank you for the offer. I will pat your head. There you go.
Thank you very much. I'll take it.
I'll take my fez off for you. There we go.
Okay, there you go. Tip the hat.
What have you done, Loki? You've created a chaos that I don't think you were prepared for.
Good.
Having both of us on at the same time.
That's the point.
Oh my god.
Good.
Oh no.
We love it. We live for chaos.
Yes.
Giggling and snorting. Much better.
Me? I would never. I do none of those things. How dare you accuse me of such nonsense?
Neither do I. I'm somber as the grave.
Yes.
Apparently, Abu Nas is right here along with us. Whoop whoop! Bring on more hot ladies on the panel. We are because
yes,
Valiant Renegade's going to be on here. So yes, there'll be another lady we can add to the panel.
Valerie, I think is his current her name. Whatever the fuck. Can't keep up with the lore.
Whatever.
Don't know the lore anymore. Oh my god. Super chat.
Pat S with the $5 super chat. Pat S says, I can't believe we won't Mexican Ironman next weekend either, but Notre Dame homecoming weekend is important. Your indie friends are your BFF. Good luck in South Bend. Thank you so very much, Pat S. And we're going to give you, since we've got two ladies on the panel, we're going to give you all some nipple gun action.
Oh, God.
Oh,
no. Wait, what?
Very nice.
I was not expecting that. I didn't know what they expected.
Oh my God, what does he mean, nipples?
Thought it was going to be like the Austin Power thing, right? That's the thing. I haven't seen Austin Power. I know cancel Eris, but no, seriously, like, is that the thing? Or the boob guns? No. I don't. Okay, I'm just going to shut up. Arwyn, you are guest. You speak things. Please save me.
Zeropium says his Schwartz just got bigger.
Oh my god. It must be the cat.
Must be.
They were always nicknamed the nipple gun. It was the nipple gun.
That's hilarious. That's the official lore name.
Yep, that will work.
A man made a giant boob and made it shoot out the nipple. That's about right.
What the hell have I just stumbled into?
I don't know. It was somewhat sober, and I was behaving myself. And
you
then
were. Put Eris and I together, and it's just like
it's pure chaos. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah. It's like we're friends or something. It's weird.
Two crazy ass cat women. I mean, oh my god.
Just behaving myself for Loki's show, but
you have. I've been proud. I've been.
I was very proud. I only fucked up one time when I wasn't paid attention, and Loki wanted me to ask a question. I was like, oh no. I was totally paying attention. What do you mean?
I'm here.
Andrew 46-2 is expecting fembots. Zeropium says this is all taken in unexpected turn. And Asaj Melody said the subtle Freudian references of what kept me engaged. Well, we try and we try and do that with some Freudian slips.
Oh
but,
my goodness. It's like what we discovered on the show earlier today with Josh. In Thor Ragnarok, when Loki is posing as Odin, all the women he's surrounded by look like his mom. It's very weird.
Yes, that's so
Very
gay.
strange.
We have a Greek tragedy on our hands there.
Oh,
What's going on?
No, bad mythology, bad incest.
Exactly. No crossovers. No crossovers.
And
No.
Darth Arlena says, "Can't wait to meet Valerie Renegade. Any relation to Valiant? LOL."
Yes.
If he's out there right now, he's going, "Fuck Loki. I'm not going on there."
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Get on here. Get on here. You're
I'm
massive.
not going on there. I'm not. Yeah,
Get it.
I can hear it now. Damn you, Loki. I'm not going on there. Oh shit. Any minute now.
Oh my god.
5 minutes. 5 minutes to Valerie. So real quick before he gets here, why do you love Star Wars, Arwyn?
I love Star Wars because it is the perfect example and the epitome of what I call high romance. And what I mean by that is, you have your ordinary romance between couples, flowers, candy, blah, blah, blah. But high romance is something that encapsulates ideals that everyone can relate to, ideals that are pure, ideals that are simple, ideals that are elegant, that are bigger than us, that are grander than us. And, to me, Star Wars is a pure story of good versus evil shown out through the coming of age of this really one boy, through Luke Skywalker. And I know about Anakin and all that and blah, 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 blah. But I'm talking OG Star Wars when I first saw it. And it took that element of fantasy that I loved so much, and it translated it into science fiction. And it actually led the way, it paved the way for, down the road for Star Trek to do that for me. So that's what I love about it. The story actually is really simple. There's nothing complicated about it. It's good versus evil. You know who the bad guys are. You know who the good guys are. And like Eris was saying, you don't necessarily hate the bad guys. Anakin annoyed the hell out of me so much in the prequels that I couldn't wait for him to become Vader. It wasn't until Clone Wars, I admit, it wasn't until Clone Wars that I started to appreciate Anakin for who he was. But it's just in the prequels that didn't pan out for me. And I love Vader. Give me some Vader.
People talk about no strong women. Strong women weren't in film until Brie Larson. I want to tell you something. Within 5 minutes of meeting Leia, she has grabbed a E11 blaster rifle, is shooting stormtroopers down the hallway, blows a grate that goes into a dumpster, throws her gun and says, "Get in the garbage chute, flyboy," and jumps in the garbage chute. She is leading the group within 5 minutes of being a part of it. She is in charge. And Han's like, "Great girl. Either I'm going to kill her or I'm beginning to like
marry her. Either I'm marrying her, I'm going to kill her. One of the two. I don't know.
I don't know which one yet, but it's going to be one of them."
She reaches out with those tiny hands and she grabs onto those balls and she hauls them out and they go, listen, they go.
She said balls.
Oh my God. The first time I saw that, I'm like, yeah, she's wearing the pants in all that relationship. Hell yeah, she's strong. She's tough. She's empowered.
What? But it wasn't until she became a general that she really became empowered. Don't you know these things?
Disney acts like they created vaginas. It's disgusting. They do. They really do. It's like before they came along and bought it, no woman was ever a woman. Give me a break.
No, we were slaves to the males. That's what Brie Larson freed us from slavery of the mankind. It's all right. We did it, guys. We did it.
So yeah, that's why I love Star Wars. It changed my mind about science fiction. I no longer saw it as, cold math.
Math.
Technology. Just it became romantic to me. And that's what fantasy is for me. It's high romance. So is Star Wars. It's a space opera.
Yes.
And that's why we love it.
Yeah.
And it's timeless. It's timeless. That
is.
story is timeless.
So much of the new shit is just going to be so irrelevant. And
Oh, it is.
God.
It is.
Like,
I can't, what, greed titty alien milk? Give me a break.
oh no.
Just,
No.
no, I don't think so.
And if it is remembered, that's all that's going to be remembered.
Yeah, it's going to be laughed at.
Hey, hey, Dad, what was that movie where that dude was drinking the green booby milk? What the hell are you talking about? You know, the green booby milk where he was milking that titty and green milk was coming out, and he was like, that's refreshing. Oh, you mean Star Wars? Yeah.
Star Wars.
Down his chin. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
What a legacy. God, it's
just
horrible.
Embarrassing. You're just like, no, why did you do this?
It is. It's just, I don't know. It was painful. It was just painful. And it just is kind of, for me, now I'm only speaking for myself, but it's crapping on what was laid down before. It's saying this is better than what that was. And it totally ignores what the originals did. And we're like, no, that's not better. That's your vision. That's not the vision. And Star Wars has a vision that doesn't belong to any one person. I mean, yes, I know George Lucas created it, blah, blah, blah. But it has become its own culture. It has become its own monolith. It has become its own creation. And the fans help keep it alive and feed it. And that's why we get so pissed off when they just disregard it. Because then that just shows us they don't care. They don't know about it. They don't understand it. And they just don't care. And they don't want us. I don't know what the hell they want. But it's not Star Wars.
They want head pats on Twitter.
Yeah, they do. They want ass pats by the check marks.
They think that, and this is why I brought up the Met Gala earlier. They think that is the world. Look at us. Look how stunning and brave we are. No. Look how fucking out of touch and alien you are. Yes. Look how far your head is shoved up your asses. Your head is shoved so far up your ass, you don't even know how fucking gone you are.
Yes, that's very true.
You've reached unknown levels of cringe. You have no self-awareness. It is just like how have you reached this stage of your life and you don't have self-awareness? I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, they keep talking about that they want new audiences and modern audiences and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, if you're putting out crap, you're not going to get a new audience anyway, regardless of what you do. And you're only going to piss off the audience that is there, that is built. They're so stupid. They have a built-in audience, built-in money, built-in revenue, built-in love, built-in devotion. What more do they want?
All they had to do was keep a moron off of Twitter and keep him from calling all the people that have loved the EU ists, obes, and Yahtzees. Right. That's all they had to do.
It's not that deep. It's not that hard.
It is, apparently.
They can't seem to figure that out because of all of this, crap that has just nailed itself onto the IP. And it's got no business being there.
Well, if you had a series of books written for Star Wars called Rogue Squadron. Okay, now they took that idea and they changed it to this woman that they hired that they had that was part of the rebellion became Rogue One. Okay, so basically all the rogues after that, which they don't get named after that until they take out the Death Star. So this really doesn't make any sense. The rogues got named because of this woman who stole a transport ship and got the plans for the Death Star. That's where the rogue idea came from, which it didn't. It came from Luke. But that's the way they're going to rewrite it. Now you can't even have a Rogue Squadron. You have to have something called Alphabet Squadron. Which they do. It's Alphabet Squadron. Yes.
A B C D E F G H I J. Is that what they? Like,
it's called Alphabet Squadron.
I love it. So they
Because
just jam out to their ABCs. Yeah.
Or Alien, do they have multiple ABCs songs?
Because of the LGBTQ.
Oh, well,
You've
isn't
got
it?
Alphabet Squadron.
I don't know. I feel like once you start putting like every letter, you kind of ruins the point.
And I'd like to welcome our third female to the panel.
Oh my god.
Carrie, how good of you to make it.
Yes, queen, work it.
I'm trying, babies. I'm trying. I'm here.
He's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Good lord.
How you like that cup, Loki?
Oh, that's great.
Shenanigans? Oh my god.
There you go.
Mary.
Did you get the knee pads to go with it, Valiant?
No, you kept telling me you were going to send yours. I got them. They were so worn down. I didn't know what the hell you'd done with them all these years. I couldn't even use them.
They weren't pads anymore. They were just like socks.
Those weren't mine.
He sent me a gag too. I didn't know what to do with that, but I mean, it was obviously used, so I was a little scared.
Come on. You know what to do with that. You know. Come on.
Welcome, Valiant. Oh shit, Mary's gonna be pissed. Mary's gonna see this and be like, "You motherfuckers are starting shenanigans without us." No, that ain't happening.
I'll certainly be roaming around over there later tonight. So y'all come by after we finish here. We'll head over there.
Well, I would love to, but I just did a 4.5-hour stream before I did this one, so I'm a bit tired.
Harris, you're a rock star.
Mary sent me a message and asked me if I could have said I can't this weekend. I will next weekend.
Same.
So I have a date. So I'm going on a date.
Oh my god! You have
What's
a social life? When the fuck? Oh no!
Your mama.
Her mama. Oh no! His name is Joe Mama. That's what his name is. Okay.
My mama needs to get out. My mama's going to be 81 this year. She needs to get out more. So yeah.
Hell yeah! Do it.
She sounds sprightly.
Oh my god! Oh, she is when Valiant's on her.
You treat them well, Loki. All right.
Oh yeah. All of them.
We'll keep the light on at the porch of Valhalla for you.
Does anybody remember that old commercial? That old commercial, the Motel 6 commercial.
No.
We'll leave the light on for you, where the old man's like eating the soup, and she's like, every time the bed would shake, you'd fall asleep, and he falls asleep into the soup. God, I never remember that. It's some old commercial for Motel 6 where the old man falls asleep into the soup and he's like blowing bubbles in the soup. We'll leave.
I remember a lot of. I don't remember that one. I remember a lot of those old Motel 6 commercials
with Tom Bodett.
With what was his name? Tom
Bodett.
She just said, yeah.
Tom Bodett. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Bodett.
Things we remember.
We'll leave the light on for you.
I don't remember anything. Was I born? I'm not sure.
And the ice cream in Texas, Bluebell ice cream. We eat all we can and we sell the rest. Bluebell homemade ice cream. That's
Bluebell
right.
Is good ice cream.
Made right here in Texas. So, Valiant, you got to tell us, why does Valiant Renegade love Star Wars? We got Eris's take. We've been getting to Arwyn's take. Why does Valiant Renegade love Star Wars? And what does Valiant think about the current state of Star Wars?
Oh my god.
Boy.
Yeah.
Let's start with the easy one. Okay, so first things first. I think like a lot of people watching, I think like you, Loki, I have a lot of fond memories of Star Wars. That was an experience that I shared with my father. I was born in the late 70s, so I was too young to really see, the first couple of ones in the theater. I kind of have vague memories of, I would have been about 4 years old or so when the Return of the Jedi came out. And I kind of have some vague memories of seeing that in the theater with my dad, because he was a big fan. And growing up, I remember when they would come on television networks, stuff like that. I remember Dad buying the VHS copies. Later I had Laserdisc copies, then DVD copies, then Blu-ray, and now 4K copies. Those movies stand the test of time. one of the things I love most about them is that it's just, at the end of the day, it's good, honest storytelling. They're good, solid, honest, timeless stories.
Yes.
And, they didn't inject politics of the day, all that kind of stuff in it. And I know I've said this a million times on here, and I'll say it again. The only politics that belongs in Star Wars is the Empire versus the Rebellion. That's it.
That's right. That's
Simple.
right.
There's not a third party. Are you sure? There's not.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
pretty sure. Pretty
Not
sure.
the weapons merchants. That's not the third party. Sorry.
Well, there's other factions, but we'll stick with the main two. But no, it was
Right.
Look, this was always something special growing up, and especially because at the time Star Wars was more of a boys franchise for sure. And it was a special thing for boys and their dads. I'm not saying there wasn't girls. I'm not saying that it wasn't a girls. But if you look at, I'm just saying, when you look at Star Wars, if you went back to the late 70s and into the 80s, if you looked at the demographics of who was watching the movies, who was buying the toys and all that kind of stuff, it certainly was much more heavily boys than girls. Okay. And it was really cool. Yeah. It was great when you found friends who were girls that were into Star Wars, which was awesome. You didn't have it that much. Now today, it's very different. It's much more even keeled, right? But you could probably make a good case that it's close to 50-50. Because again, it's one of those stories that has withstood the test of time. Now, the state that it's in today is obviously very different.
Are you suggesting possibly that it's made for nobody?
I am suggesting that it's not even made for my dogs. By and large. Yeah.
Is it anti-cat though? That is the biggest question.
Oh, hell yeah. It is.
I just don't even not a cat. I used to have 2 cats. They were great cats. I loved them. I'll never have cats again though. But no,
it's all right. I don't like you either, Valiant. What is happening?
I don't even have to say anything. I don't even have to say anything. She's just.
We'll let you talk. Go ahead, honey. Keep going.
She's just going.
Shut up. Let him talk. Let him talk. Go ahead.
Don't tell me what to do, Arwyn. I'm above you.
The abuse I take on shenanigans is much more than this. This is fine.
Come on, you get off on it. How dare you demote me, Loki? You ass. That's so rude.
It wasn't a demotion, Eris. He wanted you right next to me so you would have a clean shot.
So I could stick my tongue out at you?
I know what he's thinking. I know what he's thinking.
Because I was sticking my tongue out at him, but now I'm sticking my tongue out at you. So
well, I can't see your face, so it doesn't count.
It's on my avatar. What do you mean? Are you suggesting that this is not my face? How dare you? That's weird. I
thought that was a pink nose. I didn't know that was a tongue.
There is that cute little blep doesn't threaten.
And you put the Fez hat on there just to piss Mary off. So yeah.
Yes, this is technically the avatar for Mary, exclusively for Mary, but I thought it was required. So my Fez goes with Loki's eyes. So we coordinate. We do well.
There you go. There you go.
God.
So, but you have today. I'm trying to stay on topic here for the show, folks. Y'all keep messing.
Y'all shut up. Go ahead. Valiant, you have the floor, honey. You have the
floor.
I
was just going to finish up. Today's Star Wars, it's changed a lot. I mean, but there really is 2 factions of Star Wars now. You've got the version that was bought by Disney and used by Kathleen Kennedy as not to continue the timeless epic that we've had, but used it as a platform to push a certain breed of politics, which is sad because that desecrates Star Wars. That diminishes it. That takes away the timeless aspect of it. It turns it into a vehicle to raise a middle finger, which she tantamount did, to half the Star Wars audience. And it was disgraceful. It was cheap. And frankly, I think that above anything else, you can take the shitty storytelling that they did in the sequel trilogy, throw that out the window. I would be willing to bet that if you could get George Lucas to answer this question, I bet he would agree with this. Is that I bet Lucas was probably more upset with the fact that Kennedy went out there and publicly demeaned the fans and told them that, you know what, this Star Wars is not for you.
Yes.
And that's what she said. I think that put a knife through George's heart more than any shitty storytelling that Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams did. But then on the flip side, you get a guy that was also apparently not very happy with that, come in and try to make as best he can his Star Wars, which is more like Lucas's Star Wars, where whether you think the stories are great or mediocre or not that good, or maybe some are good or some are bad, at least he's trying to be respectful to the fans, respectful to the franchise, and that's Favreau, making pieces like The Mandalorian and other things. I have a lot more faith in that, especially since it's become very obvious from a business standpoint that, you know, regardless of whether Kennedy is still here in 2 months or not, that her powers have been largely stripped from really touching anything on Star Wars. So we'll see what happens. I wanted to get back to where people like me, and I know like Loki, and everybody else out there watching that has had this experience growing up with this, that it gets back to being the Star Wars that we can all share with our children. I have 3 children. I have 2 daughters. I have a son who's 10 years old. He and I have watched Star Wars together. I've watched it with my daughters. I mean, they came to all 3 of the new movies with me, and watched me shake my head every time. And, trying to explain to them the difference and then take them back to watch the originals. And it's like, look how different this is. All they did was want to tell good stories back then. It's very different now. So I'd like to see it go back to that. I really would. That's what it deserves. That's what Star Wars deserves.
And Dave Bob says he hated TFA, but he walked out of TLJ and never saw The Rise of Skywalker. And that happened to a lot of people. I would not go to the theater. I would not spend money on Disney. I refuse to spend money on Disney. That's why if I do go and buy some of the old books, I go to a damn half price bookstore. I go to a thrift store. I go to an old toy store where I'm not putting money in Disney's pockets. I'm buying something older because I won't. The disrespect for the fans, the disrespect for the people that carried this, and Disney doesn't care because Disney had nothing to do with Disney then.
Right?
They just don't. So they don't care. That was not our Star Wars. This is our Star Wars. So you would love it and you will care about it and you will buy our shit. We don't give a shit about what happened before. We don't give a shit about the people that wrote books that are not being paid the money they are owed by Disney, because Disney owns this now. It's not George's job to pay people that he has nothing to do with the company anymore. It is Disney's job, but they're not doing it, and they don't care because it wasn't Disney's then. So they don't see they have any responsibility to carry it like that.
There was no investment at all. No skin in the game. Nothing. Not for the original.
No, I think, however, there's, as subtle as it may be at this point, and it's going to take years. It's going to take years to turn this and get it right if they want to do it. But I think there's signs out there because, one of the things, especially Disney, say everything we want about them that we can. But at the end of the day, they're going to feel it in the pocketbooks, and they have. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why we saw the changes that we did from a business perspective, going from a $2 billion global gross with the first movie, which people were like, okay, that was obviously a remake of A New Hope. And then Bob Iger flat out admitted that's exactly what they did. And they did it deliberately to bring people in. But then they didn't follow it up with anything else to really make it something better. They just went downhill from there. And then we went to 1.3 billion on the second movie with the last whatever the hell that was. And then the third movie limps over $1 billion, I think, with a little bit of Disney help at the box office, some padding going on there to get it over that 1 billion mark. But that's a problem because they probably spent close to $500 million total making that movie with all the reshoots and the marketing. So they probably did not make money on that last movie. They certainly lost money on Solo. There's no question about that. but
Well, they were editing
hell yeah.
daily. They were taking the dailies and editing the dailies. Who the fuck edits
3
the
weeks.
dailies?
My God.
They were
my
they were
God.
still putting it together 2 and 3 weeks before it opened.
Yeah, and they had been editing daily. I mean, it's like, okay, you get the
Yeah.
you get the dailies, so you get the film that was filmed the day before.
Mhm.
And then that gets dumped on your doorstep, and you are literally editing the movie the day after it was filmed. No one does that.
You
No
do that when
one
you only
does
have
that.
3 weeks before it opens.
God help me.
Because they didn't have I mean, this was part of, I mean, from the business side, this was part of the complete and utter abysmal mismanagement by Kathleen Kennedy. And it wasn't just that. I mean, she did it on Solo. She did it on Rogue One, which actually turned out pretty well. But she did it one too many times. And it's one of those things why I've been saying for months, since the rise of Palpatine, she's not going to be sticking around. Now, even if they do renew her, as some rumors suggest that they might for about a year. Yeah, well, it jives with what Bob Chapek said about he's not renewing, all of these contracts, 3, 4, 5-year contracts with these studio heads at Disney and the upper level management over there. That ain't happening anymore. There ain't going to be no more 3, 4, 5-year contracts. The hell with that. But if he feels like he's got to keep her around, it's because A, he doesn't have anybody else apparently that is willing to take the job that he wants in there, or B, this is kind of a sweetening buyout offer to give her an extra year to get something set up for her once she does go. But as long as people like Favreau are left alone and they can go in there and do their thing and give us, something based on the Thrawn trilogy books, if they can give us something around Ahsoka Tano, and actually give us good quality, just good storytelling Star Wars. Okay, I'm listening.
Well, that's one of the things I kept hearing over and over again is Favreau's going to take over for Kenny. Favreau doesn't want the job.
No, he doesn't. I've said that.
Job? No, he wants to make entertainment. He wants his vision. He doesn't want to deal with numbers and deal with people every day and deal with all that nonsense. He wants his vision in film. I want to be a part of Star Wars. I want my Star Wars on TV screens. I want my Star Wars in movies. I don't want to have to deal with backstage bullshit and drama. Just let me make my damn show.
Right.
That's what Favreau wants.
That's absolutely correct. He does not want to be a studio employee. And I've been saying that since I've been on YouTube in February when I started, when all the stuff with Gina went down and people like, oh, he should take over. They're going to give it to Favreau. I'm like, no, he doesn't want it. Favreau's an independent filmmaker. He's perfectly happy. Look, give me a contract to be a showrunner. I do not want to be an employee. I do not want to work. I don't want, because he still likes to make his whatever he wants. He's a storyteller. Yeah. It's exactly as you just said. Look, he does not want to be behind a desk. Even though they could hire somebody else, he'd be like a figurehead. And I could kind of see that happening where, like, okay, Favreau is going to be the figurehead, like the Queen of England. And then, you're going to have Parliament over here actually running the numbers and everything on the ship. But I don't think I think that's probably the best you could hope for. But as long as Favreau is still going to get a contract to be a showrunner, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I agree. So am
I. Not every employee wants to be the head of the company. I work for a corporation like that. Not like I don't want to be the head of any company I have worked with. Like I've never wanted that. I don't want that job. So I don't know why, like, just because he's good at storytelling also doesn't mean he's good at managing people and managing whatever else it takes to be a CEO. I don't know what it takes to be like the head of anything like that because I've never had that job and I've never looked into it because I don't want that.
So, and to be fair, he probably has a hell of a lot more freedom where he's at.
That's
why
right.
would he want to give that up?
And that's exactly my point.
I was telling Coach this. It was a couple months ago. You've got Favreau out there like the fridge blocking for Filoni. See, well, and some people might not like this. They're gonna be like, Loki, I hate you because I love Filoni. I want to tell you guys something. When Kathy says get on your knees, Filoni gets on his fucking knees and does what he's told. And as long as you've got Favreau out there with his hand out, blocking for Filoni. Filoni can do his job, and Filoni can
Mm-hmm.
write whatever the hell he wants to write, as long as he's got Favreau out there blocking for him. But if
I
you
think
get
you're
Kennedy
probably.
involved, go ahead.
I think you're probably no. I was going to say I think you're probably right on that. And the only thing I would add to it is so everybody understands. There's a big difference between Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Yes,
Filoni has always been a company man. He's been with Lucasfilm for a long time. He's been with Lucasfilm since before Disney. He's been around Lucas for a long time. So he doesn't really know anything else. And until they did The Mandalorian, Filoni had never actually been a showrunner or even close to it on a real live action show. He's always been, he was always a kind of a showrunner on an animation, which is very, very different dynamic than a live action show. So Filoni's kind of like, he's still getting his feet under him. Favreau, obviously, he's been out there. He's been an independent filmmaker. Crap. I just watched Swingers 2 nights ago again. One of his first movies. And if you've never seen that, go watch it,
Never even heard of it. So.
Oh God. Favreau was probably like in his
20,
maybe he was
early 20s.
late 20s. Vince
God.
Vaughn was with him. Favreau was like, he's cut, he's skinny and cut, muscles and everything. It's like most people, they see him, they're like, oh my God, that's Favreau. I'm like, yeah, that's Favreau 30 years ago. But it's a great movie, great storytelling. But that's the kind of shit Favreau's been doing for a long time. That's what he's good at. So he's always been out there independent. He makes movies like that, and then he'll turn around and make Ironman 1 and 2. Then he'll turn around and make Chef, which is an excellent movie if you've never seen that.
Yes.
I love watching that movie with my son. That's a great father-son movie. And that movie's not even probably 6 years old, maybe that much, 7 years old. So that's what he likes to do. Filoni's
he's a creator.
Yeah, Filoni's never done that. So yeah, when the boss comes down and he's always worked for the same company and he's always been in the same box, anybody in his position might be like that. So but I think as he does more show running, as he gets out there more and he does more things and he gets more accolades, for doing the work that he's doing, I think he'll start getting a little bit more of that independent strength over time.
Yeah, and that is the big difference between Filoni and Favreau. They went to Favreau and they said, you know what, let's do this. And Favreau went to them and was like, hey, guess what? I've got this idea. Let's do this. Favreau is in charge of Favreau. You're not going to fuck with Favreau. Why? Because when he leaves, he's gone, and everybody's going to know why. So you just don't mess with that. You let the guy come in, you let him do what he's good at, which is be the creative. And like Valiant said, with Filoni, he's always been that guy that's like, okay, I'll do this. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll make it this way. Okay, I'll incorporate this. And so when KK is like, this is what I want, that is what Filoni's going to do, because that is what Filoni is used to doing, is saying, okay, I will do that.
Yeah, he's like a creative, you see these people that do commissioned work, like on Twitter and stuff. Like, hey, they give you these people come to you, ask you to draw this thing, right? And you kind of set up, like, ask them, how do you want to do it? How do you want me to, you want me to use this kind of color scheme? Do you want this and this? And they pay you, and you give them the artwork that they have asked you. That you don't have to like the art and the thing that they've asked you to do. You can say no, but if you say yes, you're going to do it because you're getting paid for that piece of art.
Right.
It's for somebody else. That's what his job is he's being creative for someone else, and that's their boss. That's who's in charge of them for that period of time, because that's what he's agreed to. So he's not going to say no, because that's.
And the difference is, though, is that using the artist analogy, is that you have control as an independent artist. You have control over the commissions that you accept.
Yes, that too.
That you have the passion for. If you work for like an advertising company, you are at total mercy of what they want you to do.
Yes.
If you're in their art field, you have to do what they say. But
and
if you're
you
an
don't like it,
artist,
whatever.
You get to choose. Exactly.
Yes. You can still do things you don't like for if you're a freelance, but I mean that's kind of defeats the point of the freelance.
But you have the control whether you say yes or no.
Yes. The only person you can blame really at the end of the day for what you're doing is yourself, for taking the money and taking Yeah, so that's it. Whereas if you're working for a corporation, you, for the most part, unless you're at the very, very top, and even then there are checks and balances usually put in place of corporations. So the person at the very, very top isn't like a dictator, right?
Right.
You have shareholders and whatnot. It's you. You got to realize these people always report to somebody else, and in order to fix the problem, you're gonna have to go up the chain quite a bit in order to really get to, okay, so who is okaying all of this?
Apparently we do have an idea. Give me one. Here we go.
There's an idea.
Yes. That is Mexican Iron Man at his latest
Pimpin'
con.
Vader.
That is Darth Poopy.
Oh God.
Darth Poopy there
feel
for
like-
everyone to see. He is the man behind the curtain.
I feel like he needs a sombrero.
The man
Just
behind the
saying.
curtain.
Like, I don't know.
Where's
Dark
the iron
pimp.
thong?
It's underneath the pants.
Yes, it is.
Gonna have to believe it's there. I don't know if you really want physical evidence
Just
of
knowing
that.
it's there is enough to chill the blood.
Yes. It matches his
Luke, I have some dead hookers in the trunk.
get the rug.
Light second hookers.
Oh my God.
So Valiant, let me ask you: are you going to the Echo Base event in April?
Okay.
I don't. I remember Coach mentioned something to me. I don't remember much about when or where.
Okay, so it's I think it's Tennessee, if I'm right. I think it's Tennessee.
Nice.
Okay.
It's going to be at a con. It's going to be in April. There's going to be lightsaber combat. I really want to beat the shit out of you with my lightsaber. So we're going to have matches. We're going to have brackets.
Okay.
We're going to have brackets. I'm throwing it out there. You have been
Okay.
you have been challenged.
The glove has been thrown.
Yeah, the glove. The glove has been slapped across the face. But we're gonna have brackets. Mike apparently is fighting Paul, that Star Wars guy. We're gonna have brackets, and it's gonna be like a tournament based. We're gonna have all kinds of stuff. We're gonna put on a show.
Fantastic.
So at the Echo Base meetup, at the big Echo Base meetup at the con. We're gonna rent a hall or something. We're gonna get Coach to bring mats from the school and put them down, and then we're gonna beat the shit out of everybody with plastic lightsabers.
Just imagine
So-
you just like walking in like Vader in the end of Rogue One and just like annihilating everyone in the hall.
So you're telling me not to bring the real swords? And,
Please
okay.
don't.
Oh, I've
It's
got,
gonna destroy.
I've got.
Don't do that. There's worth so much money. Don't do that to yourself. It's gonna hurt your soul when it breaks. Okay, please don't.
No, I'm talking about like actual real. Like I have several real Japanese katanas here,
Yes,
so I'll bring
yes.
those instead.
Wait,
so.
no,
Made
hold
in
on.
the-
We don't
made in
want
the
death.
old
Hold
way.
on.
Yes,
I
yes.
know, what are y'all planning? This is evolving.
Did you
really
ever
fast.
see that? Did you ever see how they made that? Did they do that the same way where they cool the metal over like 6 months? Did you ever see that? How they make it in the old way? Literally,
Oh yeah, yeah. There's YouTube videos on it. I mean, I don't know if I've seen them cool the metal over 6 months. I haven't. I mean, usually when they make them, I don't have like one of the real, because they don't even sell those to Gaijin. They don't sell those to white people. Okay, I'll tell you right now, you cannot get one of those if you are not Japanese, and if you can, they're going to cost you $25,000, $30,000, $40,000.
I have one.
But,
I
yeah.
have one. I do have one. This is
Oh, wow.
they you've got this big concrete pit, and they literally dump a giant ball of molten metal in
Yeah.
this pit, and they let it cool. And what it does is it takes all the impurities and drowns it to the bottom. So basically they shave the top of it off. They shave like the top half off, and that's pure steel.
Oh, you mean when they're making the tabahagane, or when
Yeah.
they're making the wad of the metal to use?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought you meant the sword itself. Yeah. They build the oven. I've seen them build the oven out of clay, and they spend like a week making this, and then they just fill it, and then when they let it cool, and like you said, it takes weeks to cool it, and then they crack the whole thing apart until they get down. And I mean, you're talking about something that's like 10 feet by 10 feet, and they come out with a ball like this big out of that whole thing of just molten metal that is cooled, and then they they go around and they sell it to the swordsmiths. Like take the pieces you want to make the sword, and then they spend a month and a half making a sword out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a fantastic method.
It's beautiful.
Cool.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It really is.
It is. There's a lot of YouTube videos on it. Yeah, you can watch them.
I've got
Yeah.
shit. I've got some shit swords, but I've got 2 of those that were like $8,000 a piece. So,
Oh my
Oh, okay.
God.
So you've got
I've got the don't sell to gaijins, but I got them from a friend in Japan. So that's probably how that happened.
That's my in one day. I've got a friend of mine that's from Japan. He lives in Chicago now, but he's Japanese. I've got a few friends like that, and one of these days I'm like, I'm gonna need you to get me one. It's down the road, but it's coming. So
we've gone completely off the
What?
reservation. I
I-
want to thank Arwyn, Avalon, Valiant, and Eris for being
You're
on here.
welcome.
We are Mike, if you're out there listening, we are praying for little Bambino.
Yes.
Hopefully he is well. I don't know if Valiant, if you heard.
no, what happened to Bambino?
Mike's dog got bit by a fucking copperhead, dude.
Yeah.
He had to take his dog to the emergency
Today?
save me vet. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Oh,
What do you
God.
think I'm here?
No. Poor little Bambino.
I don't know. I thought Loki wanted some class on the show, so he brought you in.
Oh,
Oh,
I am
Eris.
classy. You know what? He
You
gave me a
are,
compliment.
honey.
Loki, what do I do? He complimented me. I don't know what to do.
That was very disarming, wasn't it?
I don't know what to do.
Look at that.
I was ready to be an asshole, and you complimented me.
Right now, all I hear in my head is, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch."
That was so rude, complimenting me, ripping that rug out from underneath my feet. I don't appreciate it.
All right. Fine. You're a bitch. There you go.
Thank you. I am the queen, bitch.
Now Eris
Address
is in her
me.
element. She knows how to handle it.
Yes, address me my correct title. I am queen head bitch of this shit. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Oh my God, guys! Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for putting up with this insane, chaotic
You're
nonsense
welcome.
tonight. Hopefully, we'll have Mexican Iron Man back next week, and that Bambino is absolutely fine. All our thoughts and prayers go out to Mexican Iron Man and little Bambino. We will be back Monday. Big thank you to Valiant. Thank you so much for coming on here and letting us bust your balls for the last 30 minutes. Big thank you to Arwyn for hopping on, and thank you for sitting in and keeping the seat warm for Mexican Iron Man Eris. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mike. I actually had to clean it. It's pretty gross. There was taco wrappers all over it. There was
Man's not even here to defend himself.
someone's thong was draped over the back. I have no idea. I don't know if it was yours or some other woman. I don't fucking.
Was there a pair of fuzzy dice hanging from the back?
Yeah, but they were really tiny dice, man. I don't.
Oh my God. Oh, everyone take care and have a great one, and we will see you all next week. Son of a-
Bye, everyone.
Wow, what Dave Bob saying thong juice out there? What the hell?
Oh my God.
That's a bit strong, man. It's a little much.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.